then the human form of life goes in waste. Durlabha manusya janma gela akarana. If somebody is not practicing Krishna consciousness, then his effort, whatever effort he put in gaining various material merits, will go in waste. Because the life has to undergo various processes before he dies and enter into Antyeshti Kriya. If his life is not meaningful, it may be possible even he may not get the last Samskara Antyeshti Kriya. He has to live in a Vedic civilizations where the main purpose of human form of life is to resolve the issues or the main issue or the primary issues of a human being. So what are the primary issues of human being? Janma, Mritu, Jara, Vyadhi. What is the prime reason? Is forgetfulness Krishna. Because he is searching happiness in material world, trying to become Lord over like Supreme Personality of Godhead is owner of everything. In a similar manner, he is trying to get happiness. And that is a misconception. Through the process of sanskara, completely value education is being built in him. He can focus to the objectives of human form of life. If he is not focused on the objectives of human form of life, so it will be lost somewhere. He cannot find the real purpose of human form of life. So what is the real purpose of human form of life? How we can achieve it? It starts from the parents. When there is a search for marriage ceremony, from there actually it starts. If one is not able to find a good wife, then the children who are getting born from the wife may not be expected to be good. So while especially searching bride and groom, one should look at the sanskaras in the family. If the sanskaras are well built and the families of both the bride and groom are religious, then there is maximum possibility that a good progeny can come out of them. So that is the first process. So after marriage, both husband and wife should undergo the process of Garbhadana Samskara. Nisekad Vaijikam Chaino Garbhikam Chapam Riyate. This means that the proper performance of rituals should be performed before or during conception so that a good and worthy children are born. Kshetra Samskaras Siddhischa Garbhadana Phalam Smritam. When one performs these sanskaras, it removes the sins related to the process of conception and purify the semen, purify the place of birth, the womb. In this way, it cleanses all the impurities. Vedic sanskaras or Vedic process are meant that one must remember Lord in everything. Lord as the source of everything. Am sarvasya prabhu. Matas sarvam pravartate. So that these misconceptions in him to become Lord over material world will be gradually purified. If this sanskara is not there, then everywhere he will think that he is the owner, he is the creator, he is the master, and he is the only enjoyer. So it is a misconception. What is the true conception? Bhoktaram Jagyatapasa Sarvaloka Maheswaram. Everything should be a yajna. Anything one performs, even Garbhadana Samskara, it must be a yajna. So the process of getting conceived should be a yajna. Yajna means it must be for the satisfaction of Supreme Personality of Godhead. Vishnu Priti. Without Vishnu Priti, it cannot be called as yajna. So that is the whole meaning. The Garbhadana Samskara is that sacred process through which one can get a healthy Krishna conscious child, virtuous child. Garbham dehi sinivali garbham dehi prajapate garbham te ashino deva dhata puskaras srajo. So this mantra to be recited, I am not mentioning all the details of the Garbhadana Samskara mantra explained in Garuda Purana, but this mantra minimum should be recited, and there is a meditation mantra for Vishnu, and there is certain asana and process both husband and wife should perform. They should prepare a sweet rice made of milk, jaggery, or and rice. So that sweet rice should be offered to Lord, and wife should take that sweet rice. So that process is called Pumsavana. So with this various mantra, one should invoke Supreme Personality of Godhead and the associated demigods such as Prajapati and Sinivali, a goddess named Sinivali, Ashwini Kumar, Supreme Personality of Godhead. So like that, one can start the process. So Pumsavana is that taking that food stuff which is purified and which is have the ability to purify the person who is ready to conceive, the woman especially. And this way one can purify. So why Garbhadana Samskara is important? Because the highest goal of married life is to get a excellent Krishna conscious child who is healthy, strong, virtuous. So for that reason, Garbhadana Samskara must be performed. Susruta Samhita especially explained the medical reason. What is the medical reason behind Garbhadana Samskara? Ahara achar ahara achara चेष्टा भी चेष्टा वीर्य दृश्य भी समवितौ स्त्रीपमासु समुपेत्यम तयोः पुत्र अपि तदृशः. This means that child takes after the parents' food habit, behavior, and actions. If parents are not following Garbhadana Samskara processes, then children will not be able to acquire good qualities. That is why it is required that both parent and both parent should perform the purificatory process. If they do not perform purificatory process, if they do not have a good food habit, if they do not have a good behavior, if they do not have a good actions, then there is possibility that the children born from them are may not be of good character. Why I use may not be? Even these sanskaras are not performed, one may get good child. Even these sanskaras may be performed, one may not good get a good child. That is all in hand of destiny, supreme personality of Godhead. But what is in our hand, that we must undergo this process as per our duty. So effect of this Garbhadana Samskara is that one is aware of religious duty, is performing his religious duty for making the field fertile so that it can produce a good child. And there are certain prohibitions that one should not conceive on particular time, in a particular place, in particular situations, in particular tithi. One should not associate Amavasya, even Sunday, and some more things. Details are there. I'm not mentioning the detail. One may consult for the detail. I'm just giving the headings that what are the process one should go. And the desire before associating need a sacredness. So there are certain planning one should follow mentioned in Garuda Purana, and certain general guideline like the timing of intercourse, the planetary and astrological positions, should avoid unfavorable times, and certain rituals he should observe. And there are guidelines regarding menstrual cycles, and after that, what are the especially periods, fertile periods when one should associate, and what time of association days are so must be avoided. One should not associate during daytime. And certain days are there, even days, odd days, post starting of menstrual cycle. In scientific term, it is called ovulation, which naturally happen after 13th day. So if, and there is life cycle of semen, it can last maximum 3 days. And the life cycle of ovum is 24 hours. So 13th plus 1 is 14. There is only 24-hour possible. During even days such as 8, 10, 12, 14 are even days post starting of menstrual cycle. And there are odd days like 7, 9, 11, 13, 15, like that. As per scientific calculation, ovulation, it takes 13th. It may vary sometimes, but mostly 13th. Then 14th is the natural day for getting a male child. If one associate before on 10th day, it may be also possible. If somebody associate with 10th day, the semen can remain till 13th day maximum. If 12th day, then semen can remain till 15th day. So 10 to 14th day are the maximum time for fertile period. One should not unnecessarily associate for sense enjoyment. Man should know the fertile period. I just given a brief, didn't wanted to enter further details because that is for the particular purpose, especially husband and wife, they should get trained from a learned person. As a general things, I thought that let the process be known to everybody. So before marriage, one should look that family sanskar which I explained. And if somebody by his misfortune get an unfavorable wife, then there is a possibility that he can still save his devotional life. But one must first of all try all of his effort not to marry to an unfavorable wife. King Anga was married to an unfavorable wife by the will of providence. He was also facilitated by Supreme Personality of Godhead so that he will come out of that situations and unfavorable wife cannot disturb his spiritual progress. The ultimate objective of human form of life is to go back to Godhead. If somebody is unable to understand this important meaning and purpose of human form of life, then his life will go in waste. Unfavorable wife can drown one person in the material ocean of sense enjoyment and make his forgetfulness aggravated, just like the shackles that bind a living entity in the jail of material world become stronger and stronger. He will not get any peace. Dandya jane jatha raja nadite chubaye. This kind of happiness he will get just like a person was punished by the king in the old days. He was drowned in the river and taken out for some time to inhale. Getting inhalation itself is a big source of his happiness. When suffering is such great, little relief of suffering is happiness. So that's how the happiness in this material world is defined in the matter of reductions of suffering. Suffering is not removed, suffering is still there. And they get the happiness in the form of enviousness. Comparing. Oh, your suffering is this much, my suffering is this much. So he calculate in different way. You do have this suffering, X number of suffering. And I'm not having the X number of suffering. I am having Z number of suffering. Suppose he is not having suffering of food, I am having suffering of food. So who is not having suffering of food, he is thinking, comparing with the other person and he is becoming happy. Somebody is having a car, somebody is not having a car. Who is having a car, he is becoming happy by seeing the person who is not having a car. Somebody is having a flat, other people are staying in rent. So who is having a flat, seeing the people who are staying in rent, he is becoming happy. But the degree varies. One may have some kind of want, some other is having another kind of want. All these wants are created in the mind. And that is the source of all the suffering. So this suffering will never stop for these people who are hankering of material happiness. And one should understand this, that the meaning and purpose of human form of life is to mitigate the desires that is arising in the mind. And unless this mind is surrendered to Krishna, it will be creating so many desires that are unwanted. But when this mind is surrendered to Krishna, it will generate those desire which you may say as wanted desire. The desire that pleases Krishna is a required desire. We cannot replace desire, we cannot remove desire, but we can replace desire. When we practice Krishna consciousness, we can remove unwanted desire and we can put a wanted desire. So getting a Krishna conscious child is wanted desire. Getting a child out of sense enjoyment is a unwanted desire. That will disturb the process what is recommended. So somehow if one is forced to unfavorable situations due to unfavorable wife and children, what he is supposed to do? First he has certain duty, like Anga had certain duty. He tried to rectify Vena with all of his effort. Similarly, one should take all the measures to make the wife and children Krishna consciousness. With all of his effort, he's failed continuously. Then one should not be fool, just keep on trying. He should take the alternative measure, just like Anga took sannyasa. You cannot compromise the spiritual life. You can find a way out of the problems. So there will be many problems in Krishna consciousness life. So if the ISKCON devotees, everybody will give up the wife and children, then what will happen? Nobody will come to Krishna consciousness movement. So there will be fear in everybody that don't go to this Krishna consciousness movement. If you go there, then there will be problem. Wife may say, if you want to become a Babaji or Bhakta, why did you marry? So that question is normally inquired by the women, because when they do not understand that the meaning and purpose of human life, so they think that all are for sense enjoyment. So marry means marriage for sense enjoyment. That is the question in the mind. Why did you marry? The whole purpose of marriage is then what? What is the purpose of all marriage? It is not for sense enjoyment. It is for getting a good child. Why? Why that is so? Why it is not for sense enjoyment? You may want inquire. Because there is no enjoyment available in this material world. You may try. You may try very hard. You may try with your full effort, but you will never get happiness. So trying and knowing is the process that you put your finger in the fire and know. And some fool are there, even after repeatedly putting the finger in the fire, still do not know, and still keep on entering the finger in the fire. But wise people can understand that. Bandhu dara sutta sutta taboda das sei to sambandhe sabe amara prayas dhana jana gruhadar tomara boliya raksha kori ami matro sevaka hoiya. See, what is Krishna consciousness? Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying that no, you need not to give up your wife. You have to take care of your wife. How? Because he is in relation with Krishna. When you are in false ego, you think that he is your wife, your subordinate. You have to do something for her and you have to enjoy. Whatever this concept are there is under the mode of three modes of matter nature in false ego. But when you are in samarpana with Krishna, তোমার কার্যর তোরে উপার্জিব ধন, তোমার সংসার ব্যয় করিব বহন, ভালো মন্দ নাহি জানি, ভালো মন্দ নাহি জানি, সেবা মাত্র করি, তোমার সংসারে আমি বিষয় প্রহরী. So in this connection, Bhaktivinoda Thakur explains further that when one should earn money, his only thought is that tomorrow karjaratare uparjiva dhan. I am earning just for the purpose of Krishna. Because this bandhu, dara, suta, suta means any kind of relation, friends, wife, daughter, son, all are tabadasidas, all are servant of Krishna. So this concept is well built in a devotee. Now he is working for that purpose. What is his obligations for them? And he is working for that purpose. While maintaining it is not his seva or not his sense enjoyment, but a duty to serve Krishna. As they are the servant of Krishna, they also should serve Krishna. So that is the grade of family life one should learn from Bhaktivinoda Thakur's teachings and maintain it, so that his life will be Krishna consciousness. So scripture do not advise that you give up your family life, your wife immediately until you attain a certain age of Vanaprastha. But when situation are always completely against, you may take a different path. But as per the guidance of the Sadhu Guru. Hare Krishna. Any questions?